Welcome to the Neighbors for Neighbors 25th Anniversary Special, brought to you by Craig Zinn Automotive Group. Neighbors for Neighbors is proud to be celebrating 25 years of helping to find hope.
They came into our life and we get to meet them and the things that they've done for us. It's truly amazing. And it's changed our holiday and our life.
Helping guide a mission.
This is my calling, This is what I was meant to do, help other people.
Helping the environment.
To see the work that was so important to my grandfather with the Biscayne National Park coming together with the work of Neighbors for Neighbors is really exciting.
Helping heal.
There's nothing more than it gives your spirit when somebody is out there helping you, when you feel like you can't do anything, and just that uplifting is sometimes more healing than any medicine.
Join us now on location from the History Miami Museum with our host, Cynthia Demas.
I'm Cynthia Demas. We and our sponsors are so proud to bring you this 25th anniversary special on location here at History Miami Museum. 25 years ago, when Hurricane Andrew came barreling into Miami-Dade County, lives were changed forever. But there was a rebirth in our community.
August 24th, 1992, Hurricane Andrew hit South Florida, with the eye of the storm set for South Miami-Dade.
And I remember just driving through all of the various areas and into Homestead. And, and it seemed like a war zone. It just seemed like a bomb had exploded. It wasn't anything like any you could imagine. Everything was on the floor. Buildings had collapsed, and just so military all over the place. It was very frightening. I knew that the destruction had been great. We had video showing it, but it was nothing like seeing it for yourself.
Created in 1992 in the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew by the station that is now WFOR-TV CBS 4, the relief effort Rebuilding Neighbors Helping Neighbors consisted of a 15-line phone bank originally housed at the Fort Lauderdale Jaycees Clubhouse, staffed 18 hours a day with volunteers and station personnel. News reporters and anchors broadcasting live from the phone bank would urge viewers to call the phone bank if they were storm victims or if they simply wanted to help. Special reports profiling affected families and volunteer efforts also served to motivate viewers into action. The response was overwhelming, and the phone bank quickly became a tool in assisting those in crisis. As South Florida recovered, a decision was made to continue Neighbors as a separate 501c3 nonprofit. Neighbors became an important resource for all individuals and families facing everyday crises. With the power of television as one of its greatest assets, Neighbors for Neighbors quickly expanded into services beyond hurricane relief and evolved into one of the most effective vehicles for connecting those in need with those who can help, forging a strong relationship with community and business leaders willing to tackle difficult issues.
The biggest asset that Neighbors for Neighbors has is human kindness. And that's what we've seen. It's how we began, and it's how we are today. I think we all inherently are good. We just need an opportunity to find out how we can share our talents with somebody who needs them. It happens sometimes through sheer magic, but a lot of times it happens because we're able to tell stories on television and in the media, and those let people understand who needs them and how they might be able to help.
History Miami Museum has a one-of-a-kind exhibition in place right now called Hurricane Andrew 25 Years Later. Take a look around. It features images that really tell the story of that day 25 years ago. There's also a lot of videotaped interviews with those who lived through the storm. And can you hear that? They've actually created a room where you can sit there and hear what it was like during the storm. There are eyewitness storytelling testimony to listen to as well, and artifacts like this, which once stood on top of farm stores on 57th Avenue in South Miami, and this tattered American flag that flew during the storm. Now, an awful lot of people were able to help out that day, and we want to introduce you to a woman you may not recognize, but you've probably heard of.
Andrew wiped out, changed the landscape, pun intended, the sight lines of South Florida. I mean, Wilma came in and did a little more, but Andrew really changed the face of South Florida, how it looked. And so did Neighbors for Neighbors. You know, I look back now and see that was the start of something that is still going on to this very day, helping people. And it was very cool to be part of that.
The list of people who want to help is just absolutely amazing. There's a woman in Fort Lauderdale, lives in a condo, her husband is bedridden, and she's still offering a room. There's people who, their houses are up for sale and they're not living in them anymore, and they're willing to just give the entire house and even put furniture in it if need be.
I hope you continue. I thank you for all that you've done for all of the recipients of your kindness and generosity and all of the people who have called in. Thank you for everything you've done from Andrew till now to call in and make anything and everything available to people who need it. We really appreciate it.
A lot of people think CBS 4 and Neighbors for Neighbors are one and the same one. In fact, Neighbors for Neighbors is its own separate 501c3 nonprofit. But we are very thankful to CBS 4 for its support in donating airtime like this for this special, and airtime for PSAs as well. Neighbors for Neighbors is reliant upon donors and supporters to help us make a difference in the community. You can help us continue the work we do with a simple donation right on our website. It's tax deductible and will ensure we can connect those in need for the next 25 years and beyond. Neighbors for Neighbors is a special and unique organization. We don't focus on us. We focus on finding those who can help and pairing them up with those who need the help. Remember this website, helpingfeelsgood.org. You can go there and register. You might be the volunteer an organization is looking for. After 25 years, we've learned giving comes in many different ways. Sometimes giving your time and talent is even more valuable. We've worked with hundreds of nonprofits in our community, and through helpingfeelsgood.org, our volunteer matching site, we've been able to connect skilled volunteers with talents, ranging from rebuilding a home to rebuilding a website. From groups feeding the homeless to tutors feeding the mind. We encourage each and every one of you to register on helpingfeelsgood.org and see what opportunities are available for you. Every talent is wanted. And if you are a community-based organization and need help, we want to hear from you too. We're going to share with you so many stories of the people we've been able to help throughout the 25 years of our existence, including one woman who we helped with our Adopt a Family program, who now has made it her mission to help so many others in return. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Neighbors for Neighbors 25th Anniversary Special, brought to you by Craig Zinn Automotive Group. Join us once again on location from the History Miami Museum with our host, Cynthia Demas.
You know, throughout the past 25 years, Neighbors for Neighbors has helped tens of thousands of people in our community. Pretty impressive. We've helped with everything from finding a backpack for a student who needs it to some pretty life-altering situations. You know, it was just a few years ago that Yamara Pinheiro and a family from ARC Project Thrive were on location as the family was receiving their gifts from a team at Baptist Primary Care, when she told us that she was once helped by our Adopt a Family program. She had never told anyone before.
That year when I shared with you, I said, this is my calling, you know. This is what I was meant to do, you know, help other people and help other families that, you know, they may not find the way to get help, but through us, they can get the help and get wonderful Christmas for the children.
Yamara works at ARC Project Thrive, the place that helped her family so many years before. She knows the value of this program and how much these families need assistance, especially during the holidays.
It was important for me, Neighbors for Neighbors, because I didn't know I was going to be able to provide for my children the Christmas that maybe I wanted for them. I wanted something big. It was their first year with mommy alone.
Yamara still has struggles. She works full-time, has 2 children, one with severe special needs who needs constant care, but she never loses that smile. She is a perfect example of why our Adopt a Family for the Holidays program is still going strong 25 years later. When grateful families like these, the adopters who have helped them during their time of need, and the hundreds of nonprofit partners come together, they make our community stronger. Neighbors for Neighbors help comes in many ways, from helping people around the holidays to helping a young girl in a wheelchair. It was about 11 years ago. Rachel Robinson was only 12 years old. Her mom, Lorraine, came to us desperate for help. You see, her daughter was suffering from a debilitating condition. The doctors recommended aquatherapy. The good news was they had a pool, but the bad news was it would be extremely costly to repair, until Neighbors for Neighbors stepped in to help.
So I was wheelchair bound, and a big help with that was physical therapy in the pool to be able to get my muscles back. But we couldn't do it at home because the pool was in disrepair. So we contacted Neighbors for Neighbors, and they helped refinish our pool for us. And it was a big help in helping me be able to gain a lot more muscle and be able to swim more and finally be able to walk and get out of the wheelchair.
Don't feel like your story isn't enough to get some help, because like me, if I hadn't made that call, she may still be in a wheelchair today. So.
Rachel has come a long way in these years. Her strength has improved. She still gets tired, but her life has changed since Neighbors for Neighbors came along, and she and her mother are so grateful for that.
It's amazing that you've had 25 years. That's got to be an incredible feeling to be part of such a great organization. If you are a business owner, small or large, and you feel like you can contribute in any way, reach out, because you don't know the impact you'll have on someone's life.
You might remember Kim Casino. She came to us. Her one request was to get 3 computers so that she could homeschool her 3 children, triplet girls, all with brain tumors. When we shared the story with you, the family received so much more.
I'm excited about meeting them.
What a truly life-changing, life-saving Thanksgiving holiday this turned out to be for Kim and Joe Casino and their 3 girls, who just met their angel, a very humble Joe Miranda.
It was meant to be.
8-year-old triplets Ellie, Gigi, and Carmina all have debilitating brain tumors requiring surgeries and treatment at Nicholas Children's Hospital in Miami. But the Casinos were forced to sell many belongings, including their second car. Enter Mr. Miranda, who saw their story on Wednesday here on CBS 4. So this is the one car the family has, Dad using it for 12 to 14 hours a day for work, really leaving Mom and the triplets with no viable, affordable way to get from Sunrise down to Miami, where the girls have frequent doctor's visits.
My wife and I were looking at the piece. We both looked at each other and we both nodded like, yes, we need to do something here. There was no thinking about it. It was a done deal. And so I immediately took the number and called and left a message.
So Joe and wife Susan Miranda donated this SUV to the Casinos. They're sending them to an all-expenses-paid trip to visit Legoland in Central Florida, and there's more.
And then I want to sit down with them, and I want to see what they need. And I want to make sure, one thing's for sure, is those kids this Christmas is going to have a great Christmas. Okay, that's a given. And then I want to see also what Kim and Joe need, and to make things a little easier for them.
I was in shock, really. I couldn't believe it.
The Casinos got the call Thanksgiving morning, less than 24 hours after sharing their story.
Truly blessed. We can get to the doctors now. I can't tell them how much this truly changes what we're able to do for the girls, which is what it's about.
We're just very thankful that they came into our life and we get to meet them and the things that they've done for us. It's truly amazing. And it's changed our holiday and our life.
Giving the Casinos an all-expenses-paid trip, a Merry Christmas, and so much more going into the future. The vehicle Joe Miranda's giving the family also has new tires and new brakes. He's going to take it in for service before handing over the keys. In Surfside, Donna Rapato, CBS 4 News.
We are thrilled to tell you that the family received thousands of dollars to help with their medical bills as well, lessening the burden. But sadly, it can't fix the day-to-day struggles they face. Now, we weren't able to speak with the Casino family on camera right now because they're dealing with so much still, but they did ask me to thank all of you who were able to help them. They said it gives them so much hope, and hope is a powerful thing. Back in 2009, a heartbreaking story. Michael Brewer was all over the news. He was the teenager who was attacked by fellow students, doused with alcohol, and set on fire. Thankfully, Neighbors for Neighbors was there to support him and his family during their desperate time of need.
Happy birthday to you.
16 years old, it's a monumental coming of age for most young adults, but for Michael Brewer, this birthday is more than special.
I'm pretty good. I feel wonderful. Kind of energy.
Monday, he celebrates his birthday. Tuesday marks the day he almost died. The day police say 3 teenagers threw alcohol on him and struck a match, engulfing Michael's body in flames.
I think about it all the time, but, I'm just glad he's still with me.
An horrific ordeal for all the Brewer family that clung to each other for months and months of skin grafts and rehabilitation.
If we don't stick together, if we don't look out for each other, all of us, then we really don't survive. This whole story is about family, friends, and looking out for each other.
Today, clothing covers most of the burn scars on Michael's body, but his elbows and arms still show the trauma. It's a trauma that rocked the country as the news spread. Even today, places like this senior center are paying their respects for his birthday, as well as this banner that we presented to Michael with hundreds of signatures from South Florida students.
How does it make you feel to know that so many kids are thinking about you?
Makes me feel great.
Through words, presence, and song, the message is clear. South Florida is sorry for the pain that no teenager should ever have to endure.
Can I say, Mike, I wrote you this song. This world tries to be right, but sometimes it goes wrong.
So as the community reaches out to Michael, he too is giving back to the community. He's involved in charity drives and stands as an inspiration to so many. In Wilton Manors, Tiffany Herbert, CBS 4 News.
And Neighbors for Neighbors was able to help raise tens of thousands of dollars for Michael's medical bills, helping the family immensely. We're also happy to say that just recently we received this letter from Michael's grandmother where she talks about the tragedy, how Neighbors for Neighbors stepped in on the second day of Michael in the hospital, and mentions over and over the executive director of Neighbors for Neighbors, Lynne Cameron, and all of her help, saying she thanks the entire organization. We will be in her heart and prayers forever. And there are thousands of additional stories we could share. 25 years of heartwarming stories, in fact, but there's not enough time for all that. We did carve out enough time for some very sincere thank yous for our sponsors and for our donors, those who joined us in helping the community and making a difference. Every single dollar has made an impact. And it's not always money. With the generous help of so many, Neighbors for Neighbors has been able to share $20 million in resources, goods, and services to our neighbors in need. That number keeps growing every day thanks to you. Coming up, we want to share with you just a few of the programs that we are the most proud of. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Neighbors for Neighbors 25th Anniversary Special, brought to you by Craig Zinn Automotive Group. Join us once again on location from the History Miami Museum with our host, Cynthia Demas.
Neighbors for Neighbors has had a lot of programs in place throughout our 25 years of existence, and we've created a lot of partnerships. Our longest running partnership is with the Herbert W. Hoover Foundation. You know, they've been there pretty much since the inception of Neighbors for Neighbors, and you'll see their logo on a lot of what we do, including our PSAs. That's because they are as committed to making this community the best place it can be as we are.
We have been funding Neighbors for Neighbors for 25 years, and the Herbert W. Hoover Foundation is very excited to have been working with Neighbors for Neighbors for that long. I know that my grandfather knew that this was a great organization, and he was really inclined to see it grow, and it has. One of the most exciting recent developments is Neighbors for Neighbors foray into environmental protection and really focusing on Biscayne National Park, one of Miami's kind of crown jewels, and to see the work that was so important to my grandfather with the Biscayne National Park coming together with the work of Neighbors for Neighbors is really exciting. So the Herbert W. Hoover Foundation has been working, I think, longer with Neighbors for Neighbors than any other organization. It's one of the only organizations that we've funded on a continuous basis for the past 25 years. And I think that the reason for that is Neighbors for Neighbors really gets to the individuals. And I think a lot of charities and other organizations maybe work on a larger scale that doesn't quite impact the individual in such a large way. I know even from things like the Haiti Project, and bringing teddy bears over there, all the way to the Adopt a Family Project, which has been helping improve people's Christmases for years. We've really seen the work that Neighbors for Neighbors does and seen the benefits, and that's why we're so happy to have been working with such a great organization for so long.
One of our biggest commitments is to the youngest in our community, the children, of course. That's why we partner with the Children's Services Council of Broward County. Together, we want to make sure that kids have the vital resources they need.
One of the challenges we face today as a society is people thinking everyone else will do it, or we can leave it to government, they'll solve the problem, they'll do it. But the government is us, and it's up to all of us working together to support our community, to make it what we want it to be. So this partnership with Neighbors for Neighbors and the CSC has been amazing because you bring the people to the table. You bring that partnership with the community and that knowledge that we need to work together, and I love that. And we've supported you and you've supported us, and together we make things better for our children and families.
Happy anniversary, Neighbors for Neighbors! After Hurricane Andrew, a lot of people in our community became homeless in an instant, but they had a house to go rebuild, while so many others in our community do not. Our Faces of Homelessness campaign, sponsored by Wells Fargo, worked to dispel the myths about the true faces of homelessness. Families and youth are the largest population of those who are homeless. Thankfully, there are many programs working to help these members of our community at a time when they are most fragile. Our website lists the many resources available to those facing homelessness. We've heard from so many who, without the help of these programs, would not have gotten back into a home of their very own.
Nobody at work knew my situation. For me, it was, in my mind, it was very embarrassing what we were going through. But I did what I had to do for my children, if nothing else. And that's one of the things Chapman helped us with. They really helped normalize things for us.
When you join an organization like this, because you see the homeless and you wonder why they are where they are, and when you work at Chapman, you really start understanding the stories, and you start realizing that a lot of people were changed, their lives were changed for reasons beyond their control.
When I first came in, I didn't have any job searching clothes. I didn't, I had this is dress down day. They have a clothing room with a bunch of suits and, work pants, slacks, whatever. And I think I got about like 6 outfits. It prepared me to go to that job interview and, actually walk in there with pride.
Did you know Publix is a huge supporter, thankfully, of Neighbors for Neighbors? Around the holidays, they collect millions of dollars at the register for 80 different organizations. And thank you, Publix, for allowing us to be one of them.
Of all the campaigns, they say never to choose your favorite, but this is my favorite because I used to be a recipient. I used to be a part of the Neighbors for Neighbors team, and so I know how important these dollars are. And it's really special to be able to continue to support an organization that helps, revive the community spirit in me. So.
Publix also supports our Adopt a Family program along with Baptist Health Primary Care. They support it in so many ways and actually adopt plenty of families on their own and even have them to their offices and shower them with gifts.
teens get to reach out, find out how to have the greatest impact on those families, whether it's clothing, whether it's food, whether it's toys. And so they get to know them individually, and it's a relationship that they build. It's something they look forward to all year long. And so when the families come in and have that experience, it really is awe-inspiring to them, and it really makes a difference in all of their lives.
And our supporters don't just help monetarily, they really immerse themselves in these programs and show their staff members the importance of making a difference. And they do it year after year. Some of our programs are a little more fun, like dressing up for Halloween. But what seems like fun is really a luxury that some families just can't provide for their children. And that's where Operation Candy Corn steps in. More than 7,000 costumes have been distributed since this program started just a few short years ago. Collections take place all over Miami-Dade and Broward counties, and then the costumes are put right into the hands of the children who need them. After 25 years of making connections in our community, we know how a program as simple as this means to a family. And when it comes to partnerships, our longest running partnership is with CBS 4. Nowhere in the country will you find a collaboration like this one. For years and years, we've been working together to help make our community a better place to live.
Why Neighbors work so well? It's because people are always hesitant as to what organization to support. The trust level isn't there. They don't have the time to vet these organizations. But when they see on TV an appeal for help, the trust level, because we are a news organization, is so much greater. And that's really what brings people feel a certain comfort level dealing with Neighbors for Neighbors. And by virtue of that, they're actually helping all these other organizations that Neighbors support.
Without these partnerships and these connections, there would be no Neighbors for Neighbors. From that fateful day in August 25 years ago, lives were changed forever. And for the next 25 years, and even beyond that, we're going to continue to connect those in need with those who can help, story by story. Don't let the connections end here. Log on to helpingfeelsgood.org. Become a volunteer. Share your talents with our community, and maybe one day it'll be your story of hope that we share right on the air. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors one last time. We cannot express our gratitude enough to each and every one of them. Your commitment to us is felt across the community. I'm Cynthia Demas. On behalf of all of us at Neighbors for Neighbors, especially the ones behind the camera, and on the other end of the phone, we thank you. Thank you for supporting us for 25 years in the past and many more to come.